all the more why I need to deliver this message. I'm gonna say that again. Resilience, yay. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I am literally giggling because if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry, okay? That's how today's going. But honestly, I just wanted to have a chit chat today. Like, I'm not even in my chair. I'm just on the floor. That's how we're feeling. And we're just gonna hang out and talk about these subjects that I feel like we don't talk about enough. And I feel like we need to be talking about more and bringing more awareness to these real feelings. Because these are real feelings, you guys. These are heavy and they're meant to be processed in a community and used to expand awareness and start conversation. At least deep, meaningful conversations, right? So the subject that I want to talk about today is self-love. I feel like this word gets thrown around so much, but the reality is self-love is not about getting your nails done. It's not about getting a nice fresh haircut or having like nice sneakers or whatever it may be. Like, yeah, those things are nice, but at the core root of it, self-love, that's an aspect of it. But at the core root of it, self-love really is about the things that you tolerate, how you speak to yourself, what you think of yourself, and the healthy habits that you incorporate in your life, including from what you watch, what you read, what you eat, what you consume, what you listen to, all of it. All of it plays a role. Now, the deeper part of self-love, the deeper part of cultivating self-love, which is where I find myself right now on this journey, because we're all healing while simultaneously being healed at the same time. We talked about this many times before. But where I find myself right now is loving myself in my entirety. And what does this mean? If you want to experience love with another, which I feel like most of the time when I see people come in for readings or for guidance or for a course, there are two things predominantly that I see people are seeking, that their soul is seeking. And the first thing is love, and the second thing is money. And what we don't understand yet as a society, as a collective, and I do feel like we're getting there. We don't understand that love and money go hand in hand. It's ruled literally by the same planet, right? The Venus energy. And the more we cultivate self-love and what it means like to love ourselves authentically, it means seeing all aspects of ourselves. And what does it mean to see all aspects of ourselves? Is shadow work. It's integration work. It's inner child healing. And this is something that I talk a lot about on my course. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. The link will be down below and you'll have all the information there. But if you wish to experience love with another, with others, love at work, love within your friendships, love within love itself, all right? Love within yourself. There's nothing more beautiful than loving yourself as you are. And this is something that I've been cultivating so strongly over the past 2 years. And when I mean cultivating, I mean really getting down deep to the root of it. Like I said, a lot of us feel like we love each other and we love ourselves because we do these outside things. Now, don't get me wrong. It's nice to be flashy and to feel good in your skin and to take care of your vessel, but it goes deeper than that. Self-love is acknowledging where we're still holding ourselves back, where we are self-sabotaging ourselves, where we're selling ourselves short, where we are not seeing our own worth, where there are parts of ourselves that are a little more jealous, that are a little bit more manipulative. And if you guys know, and you've followed me, whether here, on TikTok, on Instagram, you know I'm a huge advocate for truth. I'm a huge advocate for being very truthful and being very transparent about these topics, especially when it comes to our spiritual awakening. Because I feel like there's a lot of spiritual bypassing, right? Like self-love is this beautiful thing, and it's like, Yeah, self-love is a beautiful thing, but it's also a very dark journey towards getting to that beautiful thing. It's almost like this maze and like scavenger hunt, because what you're going into is you're going into yourself and you're seeing yourself, because you cannot experience and you cannot receive what you have not yet experienced or seen within the depths of yourself. Over the past 6 months, I have been really called to really cultivate and practice self-love. And a lot of that self-love has come through solitude and reclaiming my autonomy and my sovereignty. And what I've realized during this process is, if I wish to experience love, union with another or with others, with the work I do, with clients, with people, with friends, whatever it may be, I need to cultivate that self-love from within. So what does self-love look like? And I'm getting emotional as I'm saying this because I know someone out there needs to hear this. It looks like walking away from anything and everything that is not in accordance to your level of love. It is walking away from anything that is not in your highest good. And what I mean by this is, when you understand yourself, you also understand your dark parts and your light parts. Love coexists between the two. It is accepting the parts of you that you deem as unworthy, that you deem as not good enough, which are the parts of you that you prevent others from seeing, which could be what's preventing you from reaching a goal, because maybe there's a lot of criticism there. There's a lot of judgment within yourself. And I've always said this, and I'll continue to say this. You can be your own worst critic sometimes. You can be your own supporter, your best supporter, number one supporter, but you can also be your worst critic at times. And I know that for me, on my self-love journey, I've come a long way, and I'm really happy and proud of that, which is why I want to share that with you guys, because you too are on this journey and you too can have this. It's like being more comfortable in my skin. Now, in the past, for me personally, I would have never posted a video like this because, to be honest, I don't have a lot of makeup on. Actually, I don't really have any makeup on. I'm just hanging out like on my little yoga pants, little sweater. The background's not perfect, right? So my criticism would start taking over, my perfectionistic tendencies. But the more I connect with myself, the more I make peace with loving myself, the little aspects of myself that I used to disregard or deem as unlovable or unworthy, I'm learning to make peace with them, because every time I make peace with them, with these little pieces of myself that I deem as unworthy and as these things that I don't want anybody to see, I become more empowered because I step more into my authenticity, which is my feminine energy, and I am able to really love myself. I'm able to meet people more deeply. The reality is there's no such thing as perfect. Perfection is an illusion, just like, stability is an illusion as well. However, going back to the topic of self-love is cultivated through time. And it's a practice. It's not something that goes 0 to 100 real quick. When you're really healing, you're really feeling and you're sinking down into the depths of you. And I'm going to be honest, you guys, it's not easy. This work is not for everyone. It should be. I wish it was. I wish it was plastered everywhere. And I wish that everyone collectively was going through this. But the reality is, a lot of people don't want to heal because they don't want to let go. Because letting go means surrender. Surrender means what? Opening to oneness, to love, to see the sides of you, to see all of you. And I have to tell you guys, it's been dark. It's been dark seeing where I've held myself back. It's been hard seeing where I am jealous. It's been hard to see where I sometimes have carried, hatred in my heart, or I have been the very own thing that's holding myself back from success, from joy, from freedom because of my preconceived beliefs. And obviously, when it comes to cultivating self-love, it's not about judgment. It's not about judging yourself. It's not about good or bad. It's really subjective, right? Like, what is even good or bad? Who are we to dictate what is inherently good and what is inherently bad? And I feel like that's what this self-love journey teaches you, is like, when we judge things from good and bad, we're creating a judgment, which is creating some sort of expectation and some sort of disconnect. And this is not to get too spiritually, lost in the sauce, but it's the truth. It's like when we create judgments about an experience, about an emotion, we are now attaching ourselves to that experience, to that emotion, as if we are that experience and emotion and it's a part of us, when really it's just meant to be observed and experienced and felt and then released. And again, nobody teaches us that. It takes time. But it takes sitting in the darkness to see the light. So the light exists with the darkness. So in order for you to really start radiating love and omitting that, because that's what you are at the core of your being, it's really what you are. You're not your things. You're not your house. You're not your money. You're not your friends. You're not your lover. You're not your family. You are love at the core of your being. That's what your core essence, your soul, is made out of. So every time you practice self-love, you're coming back to source. You're coming back to God. You're coming back to your higher self. And there's this feeling of oneness and this feeling of, I have everything I need. I really do. And when you have this feeling of, I have everything I need, of completion, you're now going into life in a more empowered state. You're not going into life from a place of lack, from a place of need. You no longer need things. You desire things, and you're choosing things, which is a state of empowerment. So over the last 6 months, it has been a beautiful journey towards choosing autonomy, choosing self-love, choosing to see the dark parts of myself, which I'm going to repeat again. There's a lot of jealousy. There was a lot of envy. There was a lot of hatred, a lot of anger, a lot of animosity, a lot of pent-up rage that I just kept suppressing because I felt like if I allowed myself to feel those things, and if I embraced them and I looked at them in the eye, that I would become that forever. And there was a part of me that just couldn't bear the thought of that. But at the same time, I realized that if I ever wanted to experience true love in this lifetime, unconditional love means there's no conditions. You love yourself, you accept yourself for who you are. Now, because I know there's going to be someone in the comments, this is not to say you don't adjust certain behaviors. This is not to say you don't heal and you don't transmute and you don't choose to do better. I'm not condoning bad behavior, and I think it's important to put that out there because there's always someone in the comments. That is not what I'm saying in this by any means. I am saying that a lot of the times with self-love, we think it's outwardly, but it's in. And we think that self-love looks like, loving like ourselves. Yeah, but it looks like loving the parts of us where the real challenge lies when it comes to self-love is loving the parts of us when we feel like we don't want to love them. That's self-love. It's also understanding where you are violating your own boundaries time and time again. It's saying no when you want to say no. It's saying yes when you want to say yes. It's going after the things that you really desire, especially when in the past, there's been parts of you that have held your own self back. That's what self-love is. Self-love is also taking accountability where you have been responsible in certain relationships, in certain dynamics, certain reactions. It's growing up, it's acknowledging, it's accountability. And it's not being hard on yourself and judging yourself, but it is holding yourself accountable in a very loving way to where you now commit to change. Because change is the only constant. Change is the only constant. But it's allowing yourself to be, to take up room, to take up space. It's allowing yourself to have a voice, to have a say. It's allowing yourself the freedom of expression. And as you step into that expression, as you become more authentic and you get comfortable and very rooted in yourself, it's later on then attracting people that can reflect that and that can give that to you. A lot of us want to experience love from others outside of ourselves. But before we receive that, which we will, we must first give it to ourselves. And we talk about it all the time, and everyone's out here talking about it. And to be honest, there's no definite answer. None of us are experts. We're always students. We're always learning. This is what we call school of life, right? Like we're literally going through so much and transcending so much and learning each and every day. And we're always, learning, teacher, student, teacher, so on and so forth. But the biggest lesson that you will encounter here on planet Earth is self-love. Because the more you step into self-love, and again, sometimes it's scary. Sometimes self-love is scary because it means going into the depths of you where there's a lot of trauma, where there's a lot of wounds, maybe from this lifetime, maybe from previous lifetimes. It does not matter. But I want you to know that at the core of your being, you are love. And you're worthy of love. You're worthy of the love that you so desperately give to other people and that you desire to be returned to you. But part of love is first cultivating self-love. And in that self-love, seeing yourself, loving yourself, choosing autonomy and sovereignty, integrating the codependency and the hyper-independency so that you can bring balance and duality into your internal world. It's learning how to merge all of the energies within you in an authentic way that's suited for you. Self-love looks different for everyone, but at the core root of it, the number one thing I see over and over again, it's the need to face the shadows, the fears, and the dark aspects of ourselves. So the programming that we've received from society, maybe from past lives, from trauma, that told us that we were not worthy of love in the first place. And that's where we start. We start there. We start where we feel wounded. We start where we feel jaded, where we feel scared. And instead of fearing that and holding it at arm's length, we bring it closer. Remember, your demons are not to be fought with. They're meant to be understood. Or in this case, like I like to reframe it, understood. Because it's understanding the darkness that you also come into the light. And that's part of love. That's part of unconditional love, which I feel like a lot of us on a huge global scale are learning. We're learning to see the darkness. We're learning to hold it close. We're learning to make peace with it. Again, I am not saying that darkness doesn't have its limits and it shouldn't have boundaries. But part of love is seeing all of it and choosing to love all of it whilst making adjustments to it. And that's what this self-love journey is. So a lot of people ask me, what does self-love look like? Well, self-love looks like loving yourself authentically with your quirks and your limits and your darkness and the parts of you that you feel like are unworthy. And once you do that and you build a solid foundation within yourself and you accept yourself, you then walk away from anything and everything that is not up to your own self-love. That's how you do self-love. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here. I felt like I really wanted to share that because that is a topic that came up. And remember, I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm sure someone needs to hear it. You are perfect the way that you are. That does not mean that it's not okay to grow, to learn, to transmute, to transcend, to release, and to want better for yourself. But self-love is not just taking care of your nails and getting nice clothes and eating good. Like, yeah, those are parts of it, for sure. But self-love is putting yourself first, standing strong in your boundaries and walking away from anything that does not serve, including your own limiting beliefs, thought patterns, all of it, and believing in yourself so much that it builds this unwavering faith. That's really what self-love is. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're worthy of so much love, the love that you give to everyone. And trust me when I say you will align with people that will see that. It's just a matter of time. But for now, it's about you. The journey is always about you. So with that being said, I am sending you guys so much love. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked, please hit like, subscribe, share the video, maybe perhaps send it to somebody who needs to hear this at this time. You never know. You never know. We're all one. We're all connected. So with that being said, I am sending you guys so much love. Have an amazing, amazing day or night. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.